to Aspire. I'm Greg Hext, CEO of Chapman Hext. We're delighted you join us this morning. We hope to finish our presentation that we started a few weeks ago or about a month ago. Our whole objective here was just to talk about selling your company and some of the options. We see a great deal of baby boomers that are in the market today that are trying to figure out what they want to do, how they want to sell, what their options are, people that are holding companies. You know, I always give our wealth management guys a hard time that it's all their fault that we can't sell companies because nobody can get any yield. If people could get yield on their money afterwards, we could get companies sold. So I always blame them, it's their fault. But what we're finding is there are a lot of baby boomers, as I mentioned, that are sitting on companies that are aging, that are trying to figure out what their options are and how do they deal with this. The estimates that we've heard is there's $3 trillion worth of wealth that's going to transfer here in the next, I'm going to say, 15 to 20 years. I think most of us in this room that are in the financial world or working in companies are going to be involved in this process somehow, either very deeply or in some fashion. At Chapman Hext, since we're not only a CPA firm, but I laugh and tell people we're not your father's CPA and we're recovering CPAs, okay? We have a full investment banking group. That is a whole separate language that speaks in a different format than the typical CPA firm. We also have a very active wealth management group for our clients who've had liquidity events. Consequently, we're helping companies work through the whole life cycle of how do I sell, what do I do, how do I structure the transaction, what kind of transaction do I want to do, where do I find the capital. Hence, that's how we ended up with this session going on, was trying to share some of that information. You have a USB laying there in front of you that has a number of different things on it with regard to the firm, some information about Chapman Hext, some information on our panelists this morning, and all the different slides that are being presented here at Aspire, and basically from the last session also. One other thing that you'll notice is that we're videoing these sessions, and we did it last time. It came out pretty well, except for the moderator. It sounded kind of dumb at times, you know. But we're going to work on that. He can improve. Okay? I told them that my debate coach and speech teacher would have failed me after the last event, so we'll work on that. We are pleased that you're here. It is a new, location for us. For a number of years, we've done Aspire at Glen Eagles. This brings us closer into the city, well, hopefully a little bit closer, a little bit more convenient location for everyone. So let us know. We'd like to have your input. If you have ideas, thoughts, topics, things like that you want to hear about, that we are going to come up with some tax planning information here in the next month or so, as well as some other topics. One of the things that's really hot in the market that's been going around is what do you do with your employees and all the social media? What do you do with all the communication with texting and tracking that? These lawyers want us to be able to produce all this stuff, if we get into litigation. So we know that we have to figure out how to track those things and deal with that and manage that process. It's one of the topics we're going to talk about. It's kind of new, it's different. So if you think of things like that that are out there you'd like to hear about, I'm sure we can find someone to speak on it and talk about it. One of the things with regard to the video that we've done is we have actually captured that and put it on our website. We even broke it down into a section about ESOPs, a section about dealing with private equity, so that you can go to the video vault on our website and look at just the piece that maybe you have an interest in and not have to listen to the whole video. So we dissected it in different subject matter for you. So if you're interested, that's out there. If you know of people that are interested in that topic, feel free to send to our website. We do have a new website. Again, if you've got comments, suggestions, hopefully all the links are now working. As you well know, that is a work in progress. I don't think it ever stops. So we are putting a lot of effort and time and money into making sure that works and is a valuable tool, not just something to look at, and it's got valuable information. So again, thanks for coming. Those are some quick updates. Let me do a quick introduction again on our panelists so that everybody remembers who we have. First, here we have David Oden from Haynes and Boone. David focuses on mergers and acquisitions, corporate securities, and general corporate matters. He's been recognized by the Chambers USA as one of the leading practitioners in the United States for technology, corporate, and commercial law in Texas. Second, we have Gordon Russell. Gordon has concentrated his practice on banking and financial institutions as well as real estate. He has special expertise in commercial lending, real estate development, and finance, especially in restaurant real estate and global trade. Gordon maintains a regular general business practice, including corporate partnership and general counsel matters. Next, we have Jules Brenner. Jules is with Strausburger Price. He represents privately held oil and gas exploration, production, and oilfield service companies. He advises his exploration and production clients in the acquisition and divestiture of working, leasehold, royalty, and mineral interest, and producing and non-producing properties, as well as lease negotiations, corporate mergers and acquisitions, private placements of debt and equity, and also negotiating and drafting key transactional and corporate documents, including drilling agreements and participation agreements. And last, but certainly not least, is our favorite tax person and the best accountant in the world, Nancy Schulze. Nancy is head of our tax group at Chapman Hext. She and I have worked together for soon be 23 years, or we are 23 years. She's a very patient woman. She's put up with me. Next to Kimberly, she's the one person that stood around me for many, many years and has really helped us develop the firm. Nancy lives, of course, in Dallas. She is the shareholder in charge of tax at Chapman Hext and also our president. She has a full service process in the tax department. She began her career in 1982 with Main Herdman in Midland and joined Chapman Hext in 1992. Nancy's emphasis is in tax planning, consulting, and as well as oversight for corporate individual income tax prep for federal and state. In Nancy's spare time, she enjoys volunteering for various organizations, spending time with her two grandsons. Nancy basically spends her time helping our corporate clients work through their planning process. So if you ever need to talk to somebody who can tell you the tax law without using tax code, Nancy's one of the few people who can do that. I laugh, she speaks tax English. And that's important because most of us don't understand tax. So we appreciate all of you taking your time this morning to join us.